What's up, boys? It's Dual Factor once again, another video, and just like I told you after the Spiral deck profile, I was going to give you an updated Counter Fairy deck profile, and I do not want to disappoint. I have been promising you guys this updated profile for God knows how long, and I've actually played a couple locals with this with the updated stuff in it, and I just been working so much so I forgot to profile it for you, but I figure I'd go ahead and give it to you, especially the week before YCS Memphis. I thought some people might like it, that who are actually going to the event might actually like playing this or something like that. I don't know, in side events, but nonetheless, I figure I'd go ahead and give it to you guys since it's been promised for God knows how long, so let's go ahead and get into it. So it is Counter Fairy, so naturally for the namesake of the deck, you do have to play 3 copies of Bountiful Artemis. This is the best monster that in your deck that you want to open it every single game. That's why I play 3 copies of it. It generates all your advantage. +1s are great in Yu-Gi-Oh, so why not? Different from the last profile, I'm also playing 3 Minerva Scholar of the Sky. So the reason we're playing 3 of this is if you want your monsters that are all inherent +1s, and while Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field and everything like that, it recurs your trap cards back to your hand, and that is huge because you're not guaranteed to draw them off Artemis, but you can get them back off of this one. It goes really well just to drop off. It gets really big, so it's really hard to out if your opponent doesn't have a board wipe, etc., etc. Him and Artemis are just the 2 best monsters of the deck. From the last profile, I'm only playing 2 copies of Gaia Ariande. So, a lot of people play 3 of this, and you're probably all going to be scratching your hands why I'm not playing 3. A lot of the times when I was playing this deck, especially like when I had like Pot of Dualities, Card of Demises, like all these cards, I end up drawing multiple copies of these. And when in theory this card is actually really good in the deck, and it would be a lot better if it was searchable, you can't really do anything with this unless you open trap cards that makes worth having the Ariande. So that being said, I only play 2 of it, and especially with all your draw and search power in the deck, you see it relatively easy every game, and I don't think there's really reason to play 3, so the 2 is just fine. And then the last monster we play in the deck is we play 1 Zerati's Herald of Heaven. It's just another way to search Sanctuary in the Sky, and it works really well with Card of Demise and all that. Plus, if you already have the Sanctuary in the Sky in the field or the Sanctum of Parshath, it's just a big 24 beater that the deck could really use. So I like playing the 1 of. And that's it for the monsters. On to the spells. We play almost nothing but power spells. So we play 3 copies of Card of Demise. It's really the best card in the deck. Like, you want to see this card. You want to draw multiple cards. You want to get your hard pluses. Like, it's really, really good. We're also playing 3 copies of Pot of Desires. Like I said, big believer in 3 in the deck. You want to see it, you want to open it, you want to resolve it, and then you're also playing a trap deck. So, I mean, like, the more trap cards you see, the better. So, I'm always going to play 3. And then I'm also playing 3 copies of Pot of Duality. Again, it's another good card, especially when in your opening hands. It just sits through. It sculpts your hand the way you want it to be. So, there's that. And then I'm playing 3 copies of Sanctum of Parshath. Being able to protect your back row is really cool. It being Sanctuary in the Sky, you get a lot of the cool effects, especially with like Minerva Scholar of the Sky and whatnot. And then the last spell card is we're playing 1 Sanctuary in the Sky just to search it off of Zerati's, the Zerati's play. That way, for the namesake of some of the cards in the deck, like Divine Punishment, like stuff, you always have a way to activate it. And notice I'm not playing Ties of the Brethren in this deck. I don't think the card's very good, especially in the fact for Ties of the Brethren to be good, it's a kind of a weird complex. Because you only have a 5-card starting hand. For it to be good, you have to have 1 monster, Ties of the Brethren, and 3 different counter trap cards, or a way to get to more counter trap cards. Like, your hand has to be the absolute stone for that card to be good. Otherwise, it's just another card that sits there and generates what I like to call fake advantage. Sure, you have a bunch of monsters that do stuff, but unless you have the back row that actually get the monsters to do their thing, it does nothing. So we just got complete from the deck. You play it with a Card of Demise, Pot of Duality, and all that, and it's a lot more consistent, and you will enjoy the results a lot better, I promise you. And that's it for the spells. On to the trap cards, which I know is everyone's favorite. I'm playing 3 copies of Drastic Drop-Off. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. Like, especially when you open it with like Minerva Scholar of the Sky and any other counter trap card, it's really good because you always have a way to activate and resolve your Minervas, your Bountiful Artemises, and stuff like that the minute you see this card. So, and you want to see it. I'm also playing 3 copies of Divine Punishment. It's essentially Solemn Judgment, and you'll have to forgive me, I don't have the supers yet from OTS 7 because I haven't opened up any of the packs or anything like that, but anyway, it's 3 copies of Solemn Judgment as long as it's on the field. It's a free activation, but you have to have Sanctuary in the Sky or else it's just a solid brick, but you have so many ways to get to it that, like I said, it's not usually a problem. I'm only playing 2 copies of Ultimate Providence. This is probably going to come out, but for now I'm still playing the 2 copies of it. It's really good with Guiding Ariande, and like I said, it's just another form of Solemn Judgment. Another thing I saw with this deck is you want to be able to protect your monsters, and you want to be able to keep all threats away from them, especially since you're like a going first deck. So I'm also playing 2 copies of Forced Back, because one of the things that sucks about this deck is if they get anything over 1900, they can win the game really easy, and if you just force the card back into your hand, it keeps your Artemises and your Minervas on this field a turn longer, and it gets you a way to get to other cards that can actually stop your opponent from playing the game. So that's why I'm playing it. I'm also playing 3 copies of Solemn Strike. It's arguably the best counter trap in the card game right now, so we're going to play that. And the last 2 counter traps to play are 1 Solemn Judgment and 1 Solemn Warning. I feel like that's a no-brainer for a counter fairy to play these, especially with the Guiding Ariandes. These are all free. So that's that. And then the last trap card in the deck I play, and the last card I play, is 3 copies of Storm Mirror Force. So, outside of Zeratius, your biggest normal summon is Minerva at 1700 with Sanctuary in the Sky. Not Sanctuary in the Sky, I'm sorry. The Sanctum of Parshath, it comes out 2k. So, the magic number for people to get over your monsters is 2000. And they're not going to use, when they see you're playing counter fairies, they're going to do everything out of the power to not use spell or monster effect removal or trap removal because you're playing counter traps that can stop them. So the big thing is if they can stick a monster that's bigger than 2k on the board, they can get over almost anything that you normal summon in the deck outside of Zeratius. So to deal with that, you force them to attack you, and that's where they play into Storming Mirror Force. Like I said, it keeps your opponent's monsters off of yours. It keeps yours on the field so they continue to net your advantage and continue to proceed your game state forward. And it's necessary to play it in this type of deck. I don't want to play Quaking because it doesn't do anything to link monsters. Blazing Mirror Force is cool, but when you don't have Guiding Ariande on the field, you're paying a lot of life points and counter traps, and at some point, although I know the theory behind playing so many Solemns is you want to see them, that's why you play so many, but at some points in games that are drag out, you're going to activate multiple copies, and you're not always going to be able to resolve it, so you need to be able to wait to keep your life points you have remaining safe, and this does it the best. So that's it for the trap lineup, and the main deck is 40 as always, and then I'll go ahead and show you the extra deck, but it's literally just fluff. Arguably, I am missing a Cowboy, and it does come up, but for now, this is what I have, so we'll go with that. So we play 1 Fairy Cheer Girl. Everything in your deck's Fairy is a free +1, so that's cool. 1 Abyss Dweller. This card's really good against Draco. I got Samurai to push for game. Karen Gorgon for when you want to slide in Floodgates. Rhapsody because it randomly comes up. Baguska, this card's cool. And then shoutouts to Ray, tributes to him. We play 1 Star Liege and 1 Constellar Omega. 1 because it's his favorite archetype, and 2 this card's hilarious. Me and Aldo actually, we did a lot of testing on this card when ABC was one of the bigger decks, and that was pretty funny. Tsukiyomi for when you break, or when you desperately need more cards. Castell for removal. Damdara for removal. Tornado Dragon for spell and trap removal. And we play a bunch of Utopias. And that was my Counter Fairy deck profile. Always remember to like, comment, subscribe. I will be in YCF Memphis this weekend, so I'll definitely bring you a profile whatever I play there. I'm going to try to actually also post videos of us playtesting and stuff like that the night before, and I'm also going to try to get around there. I'm going to try to get deck profiles from other people and stuff like that. I'm also going to try to get you some coverage and everything like that, but I can't make any promises. But as always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.